Greetings, viewers. This is King Echu from Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. Welcome to my platform. This is a Pan-African platform. Please like, share, and subscribe. My discussion today has to do with the Southern Cameroon revolution against La République du Cameroon, the Southern Cameroon war against La République du Cameroon. Lately, you could see the write-up of Abdul Karim Ali talking about the Swiss dialogue and appreciating other countries that were involved in dialogue towards the issues of Southern Cameroon with La République du Cameroon. But the fact is this, I want to tell all Southern Cameroonians, it doesn't matter if you are with the ADF, AGOFC, the interim government, whatever other groups, military or non-military, doesn't matter what group you're part of. But the fact is this, the war of Southern Cameroon against La République for the independence of Southern Cameroon cannot be won. It cannot be won through diplomacy. It doesn't matter if you use Canada. It doesn't matter if you use Swiss. It doesn't matter if you use United States. It doesn't matter if you even use China. Simple. Diplomacy will not win our revolution. Do you know why? France. France is blocking everything using their veto against Southern Cameroon. So some people are trying to tell you that Swiss dialogue, Swiss dialogue is not going to go nowhere because France has the power of veto. As you know, there are 5 countries in this world that you call superpowers. Although France is not a superpower per se, but it is in that 5 countries. Because in that 5 countries, you have the United States. United Kingdom has the power of veto. You have China has a power of veto. You have France that also has a power of veto. These 5 countries pretty much have an influence all over the world. And if you notice, in French Africa, the reason why ECOWAS couldn't have a currency is because of France. The French Africa cannot do business with English countries in Africa or part of the ECOWAS, the British countries that were colonized by, the British African countries that were colonized by the United Kingdom. That's the reason why the ECO currency was not achieved, because France has a strong influence in French Africa, and France looks after the interests of France. And the interest of France is making sure that they do not lose what they colonize. The countries that they colonize, they don't want to lose the influence in the countries that they colonize. So no matter what, Swiss doesn't have any power of veto, which means Swiss will have to go by France, will have to accept what France says. And these 5 countries that have the power of veto pretty much will not go against each other. China has an interest in Cameroon, and China is already having the interest, is already doing business with La République du Cameroon, with Paul Biya. So China would not do anything to separate Cameroon. France has a big interest in Cameroon that controls Cameroon, so they would not veto for Southern Cameroon to have an independence. They will use their power, and they have been using the power of veto so that the separation of Southern Cameroon with Republic of Cameroon will not hold. Discussions are being heard, but when those discussions have had the final decision, France uses the power of veto against Southern Cameroon, and the issue through diplomacy goes nowhere. United States has a lot of issues that they have to hold, so they don't have an interest in splitting up Cameroon because they have a very bigger issue that they have to fry, which has to do with China, Africa, Southern Cameroonians. You must look at and try to understand global politics. We cannot win this war through diplomacy. So it doesn't matter how many times Abdul Karim write or discuss about Swiss dialogue. It's not going nowhere. France will not take a gun and shoot it at its own leg. Because if France cannot go against Cameroon when it comes to the issue of Southern Cameroon versus Cameroon. France backs up and continues to backs up La République de Cameroon because that's the interest of France. As I said earlier, the reason why eco currency could not be achieved is because of France meddling. Because eco currency is included with English countries, English African countries, and French African countries. So they cannot continue to achieve what they want to achieve because of France. At that level, West Africa cannot have a currency. The whole of West Africa cannot have a currency because of France. Do you think a small patch of Cameroon, known as Southern Cameroon, will achieve independence through diplomacy? Southern Cameroonians think. Doesn't matter if it's Swiss dialogue. It doesn't even matter. United States will not go against France for Southern Cameroon to achieve an independence. Will not. Will not. You see, world politics, when it comes to the superpowers, they do things based on interest. As I said, we cannot win this war diplomatically. France will continue using their power of veto against Southern Cameroon when it comes to that issue. Which means what? To all Southern Cameroonians, those who are part of the big firewood official launching, the ABC Amber TV, those who are part of the big rubber gun, those who are part of the AGOFC ADF. If a small nation with so many fractions cannot come together and face a bigger enemy, known as La République de Cameroon, why do you think United States, China, Canada, other nations will show interest in splitting up Cameroon? We cannot win this war through diplomacy. The only way we can win this war is through war that we have started. But the fact that we are not winning this war is because our small nation, known as Southern Cameroon, cannot stand united. We have fractions fighting among themselves while trying to fight a war with a nation that is well equipped and sponsored by nations like France. Southern Cameroonians, we fighting La République de Cameroon is also fighting France. Know that. which means that we have to be more united. We must stand as one team. When this revolution started, ideas were spoken. Ideas like county by county strategy, local by local strategy, block by block strategy, which was the ADF or AGOC strategy, and county by county, which was initially started by Eric Tato, which was taken and then turned into county by county, local by local, which they found a way to cipher or sift the money, lots of money that is needed to buy weapons all over the 14 counties in southern Cameroon, the 14 states in southern Cameroon, states like Fako or counties like Fako, Manu, Momo, Memendian, Menchum, Menzambui, those counties that make up southern Cameroon. This was strategy, the county by county strategy was brought up so that it could be used to fight wars against Diplomatically Cameroon. But as you know, Samuel Sako came up, used the local by local, raised money, and ate the goddamn money. To the point where many of the counties or states are not well equipped to fight the war. People are dying because of bad leadership. People are dying because of disunity between Southern Cameroonians. People are dying because the so-called leaders of Southern Cameroon do not give a damn about the people on ground zero. No matter what they say, their actions that they have taken shows that they don't care about the people on ground zero who are fighting this war. Because if they did care, all the money raised would have been used wisely, intelligently, to make sure that the soldiers on ground zero have the weapons they need to fight the war against Diplomatically Cameroon. You see, with local by local, you have people who are in charge of their local counties, so locals within their counties, and they take the money, they raise money, and the money is not even being used in the counties or in the locals that is needed. Where is the money going to? Southern Cameroonians. We need to stand more unitedly. This strategy that was brought up by Eric Tato, county by county, which was taken by Dr. Samuel Sako and changed into local by local, and even with the block by block strategy, I believe that it should have been named the county strategy or the state strategy. In other words, each county inside southern Cameroon should be able to raise their funds and arm themselves and fight the forces of Diplomatically Cameroon fight the forces of Diplomatically Cameroon who are already inside the counties of southern Cameroon, inside the 14 counties of southern Cameroon. If a state like or a county like Manu raises the funds for Manu, right, and use the fund to defend Manu by buying weapons that is needed to eliminate the forces of Diplomatically Cameroon completely. We're not trying to arrest soldiers or anything. This is a war, which means that when you see the soldier of Diplomatically Cameroon, you're there to take them out, not arrest them. Take them out, send them in body bags. That is the goal of a military. We are a nation, or at least we claim we are a nation. So we should start acting like a nation. But the fact is we're not completely yet a nation. But we can create the system that a nation needs to fund the counties so that the counties can fight and eliminate the forces of the Republic of Cameroon who are already in our counties, so that we can control our counties. When we can control our counties, and then we can now integrate and work as a team to defeat the forces of the Republic of Cameroon after completely uprooting them within our 14 counties and pushing the war into their own nation, their French Cameroon nation. But when you look at the war, not even one county is liberated. Money has been raised to fight the war, but the money is not being used intelligently. The money is not being used wisely. The money is not being used for the purpose it was raised for. Which means that, why are we fighting this war? Why? Are we fighting this war to win? Or are we fighting this war to just allow our people being slaughtered, in the process losing? Because the more our people are being killed, the more we're losing. If the leaders cannot come together and create a system where each is held accountable for the counties they are fighting in. You can have a county like Bui, and you have soldiers of different fractions fighting among themselves. Meanwhile, the enemy, which is like Republic Cameroon, is inside Bui, gunning after Southern Cameroonians in Bui. We need a county or state like Bui needs to be united when they're fighting against the enemy known as La Republic de Cameroon. Any county you want to name it, Lebialem, Bakassi, Bakassi Peninsula, it has to be united against the common enemy. So if we really want to win this war, it's not by diplomacy. Diplomacy will not work, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue with the diplomatic work. We should continue with the diplomatic work, but we should put more of our effort through military and destroying our enemies. When we eliminate all our enemies within our 14 counties, the chances of liberating ourselves gets bigger. We may not win this war diplomatically, but if we win this war militarily, we can control Southern Cameroon, even if it's not recognized. It's better to believe in a state that you control, even if it's not recognized by international community, than to be begging for the international community to help free you when you can free yourself militarily. So Southern Cameroonians, if you truly want to liberate yourself, it's not through diplomacy, but through military, and making sure that each county inside Southern Cameroon is well equipped to eliminate the forces of La Republic within our county, so that we can liberate our county. The key here is to liberate our county. Swiss dialogue or any form of dialogue will never work, because France will veto it and continues to make sure that Southern Cameroon cannot be free from Cameroon. That's what France is doing, and that's what France will continue to do. And as long as France continues to do that, other nations, other superpower will respect and do nothing about it. So we cannot sit and wait for diplomacy. It's military might, military powers, military power for Southern Cameroon against La République Cameroon. And any other Jack and Jill who think that they are the all and all, they're the president of Southern Cameroon. Southern Cameroon doesn't have a president because Southern Cameroon is not a recognized state. So Samuel Sarko may think that he's a president, but he's not the president of Southern Cameroon because Southern Cameroon is not recognized until it is liberated. And even if we liberate Southern Cameroon, the chances for the international community to recognize Southern Cameroon as a nation is very, very slim. Very slim. Almost impossible. Because France doesn't want to lose the grip France has over French Africa. So stop wasting your time thinking that, no, Swiss stock is bullshit. It's not going to take us nowhere. Swiss doesn't have the power of veto. France does, and France is using that power to make sure that Cameroon is not separated from Southern Cameroon. This is King H. I'm out.